I wanted to take a look at this. This is a Bosch battery from a drill that I bought. I'm going to say maybe 2008. So we're talking a lot of years ago. And I wanted to pull this apart because both the drills are actually gone now. They've definitely served their usefulness. And to my amazement, the batteries actually still work. And they didn't seem to lose a lot of charge either. They didn't really have self-discharge or anything. I mean, I could almost guarantee that this has still got power in it. And this hasn't been used for months and months. It's just been sitting in the trailer. Maybe even years, I'm going to say. It hasn't been used, it hasn't been charged or used or anything. But I want to have a look at it because I think the circuitry would be quite interesting on the inside. We'll go for voltage in here. We'll just see. Oh, are they even going to fit in there? Oh, I can just get onto them. Is that that's showing millivolts? Oof. Maybe they're not good anymore. Sort of jumping all over the place, isn't it? I'm not getting a good connection in there. Still showing millivolts. It's flashing up 20 volts every now and then, which it should be about. Oh yeah, I just can't get a good connection. Maybe if we go in this way, just shove it in there as hard as I can. There we go. 20 volts. Finally. So yeah, you can see that there's still... Oh, Jesus. Right. So you can still see that there's voltage in there. Oop. So we're going to have a look at it. This is a 18 volt 1.5 amp hour, and I'd say it's still around that because my Ryobi batteries, you know, the old ones, still hold a lot more charge than what this does. But this is certainly... Oh, that's right, it charges from the back. Yeah, something interesting that the Bosch does that the others did not is you could actually have the drill on the battery, right? And the charger, it just slotted in. So it was like a cradle. It was like a cradle like that. And literally with the drill on there, you could just slot it in and it would charge and it would just sit on top of the charger. And I thought that was a brilliant thing because you didn't need to take it off the tool in order to charge it. You just whack it on there, and then it's ready to grab. You know, it's just here. You just grab the handle of the drill and it's ready to go. I always thought that was pretty cool. So by rights, we should get a voltage from this the back here. What do we got? Obviously got the wrong way around, but still 20 volts. And I think this is just the charging circuitry, although we do get 20 volts through there. So maybe it's, I don't know. So we got the 20 volts there. We get nothing there. But oddly, when I go to this terminal, you get the 20 volts as well. But nothing from there to there. Nothing from there to there. That's interesting. I suppose I might find out why when I open it up. These are sort of little Torx screws. This one's not the right one, but that's definitely working. Okay, so we've got one more here, and there's one behind a little plastic cover there, which can I just bust through? Ooh, that's a no. So I'll get a crappy little flathead and try and bust that. Oh my goodness. Wow. That's really difficult. Oh wow. Okay, I'm just going to try something else. Gotta try and bust through it somehow, because there ain't no getting it out. Oh wow. I really don't know. Oh my goodness. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to get that out. I'm just sort of grinding away at the plastic there. I might have to just put a screw into it. Let's just pop a screw into it and see if I can pull it out. Yeah, that's got it there. Okay, well, that's how you solve that problem. So is that a Torx screw? It does actually look different. Well, it's still undoing, that's fine. Just the head looked slightly different in there. No, it's the same. It's the same. So what do we got? Well, I mean, it comes, that's points for ease of opening it. Are they vent holes? No, they're not. No, so there's no vent holes in it. We do have good separation of the cells, so I didn't just bunch them together. That's pretty good for heat. I wonder, is there actually anything holding this in? We've got those terminals. No, literally it just slots in there. So I think, yeah. How good is that design? It literally just slots in with, yeah, the spring is part of, wow. Yeah, so the spring is actually part of that there, and they make the spring, they sort of tune the spring to be the right tension with that little zigzag there. Wow. And that just slides off. That's actually really cool design, that. Really, really cool design. What have we got here? Okay, so that cell's not attached. It's just free to move around. So I've got the spot welded that's really good quality design in there. I like the spacing of the batteries because it does help with heat, definitely, because they're not sort of bunched together. And this foam pad definitely wouldn't help with heat because that's a fairly good insulation, that foam pad. Yeah, you can see the sawdust in there, so it does get debris inside. So if you've got water on it, it definitely would go inside. There's your terminals there, but they're really quite high tension terminals, those. Oh, I can't even push that in there. Oh, just. Okay. Yeah, wow. So yeah, there's quite a lot of tension on that. Even after all these years of using this tool every day for work, I was a handyman for a long time, 23 years, and basically used this this drill, this Bosch drill, and the impact wrench for a lot of years. I can't say exactly, but many years I've used this tool. You can see the wear marks on the charger. Like, that's how many times it's been in the charger. It's worn the coating off here. I'm trying to get a voltage, so we're going to go from that side to this side. So we'll bring in the meter again, try and get rid of the glare from that. There we go. And we'll get a voltage on the batteries for you. There's no circuitry in here, so it's just literally the batteries connected straight to the, I believe. Yes, that's a pretty decent looking diode there. And we've got, what are they connected to? So it's not really a BMS. They're not connected to, I'm not sure even what's going on in there, because you can see there's that little resistor that goes through here. Oh, sorry. There's a little resistor that goes through here to join the earth to that pin. So that should just be continuity through a resistor. And then oh, hang on a minute. Where does that wire go through to? Oh, I can see it now. It was hidden under the blue. Right. Oh, there you go. So that's your temperature sensor. Okay. So it's just so the tool can measure the temperature through those contacts, those two contacts, and obviously the charger has them as well. And they've tuned that with those resistors, I suppose. There you go. So literally no active circuitry, bar just having temperature sensor, protection diode, a couple of resistors there. How easy is that to fix? Like, and these cells aren't even really that diminished. That would tell you why. So these are quite high quality cells, these. I could almost guarantee if you put these into a laptop or something, they'd still be fine. But yeah, that's a really nice design. Really nice separation, and it's got that sort of plastic jig that just goes in between the batteries there. That middle one does sort of clip in there. The others just sort of sit in, and they're just held in by the spot welds on the connections here. But yeah, that's a really smart design, and I mean, it's lasted this long. I mean, this is what? I'm gonna say 17 years old, and it still works. It's still holding charge. It's not self-discharging, because this battery hasn't been used for, I'm gonna say 2 years, maybe even more. It's just been sitting there, and I don't even know why I kept it. Probably just to make a video. And it's still got charge in it, which tells me that these cells are in really good condition, which, after the abuse that they've copped and the overheating in the, leaving the tools in the sun accidentally, not that I did it on purpose, but sometimes you're up on a roof or something, and you know, you notice that the drill's just bloody too hot to touch. So you know, you quickly do something about it. But so this has been heated, you know, many times. It's been used umpteen times. I remember cycling these batteries, like you just had the charger on all day and there was a battery on it basically all day. So all you do is just hot swapping these batteries. So you're going directly from charging to usage without even any cooling period. A lot of times, because you know they're only a small capacity, 1.5 amp hour, so you do run out pretty quick if you're using them hard. So yeah, I mean, many times these were just cycling through, hot cycling, hot swapping, whatever you want to call it. And for them to last this long and still be working is just crazy. And it's a real testament to the sort of Bosch gear. I mean, it wasn't the highest quality stuff, but it worked well, and it worked for a long time. And it is because of things like this. They use decent brand batteries, and they use decent connections, and they use decent thick soldered joints. You know, have a look at the solder joint in there. Like, you know, they've flooded that, and they've flooded this, flooded that there with solder. You know what I mean? So, you know, they didn't cheap out on the things that really mattered. And you know, it's I don't know, it was definitely worth the money. The $100 or something that this whole drill and batteries were at the time, I think it was about $100, maybe 120. I mean, I got so much use out of it, and it still works. As a little bonus, I just wanted to show you how easy this went together. I just figured it out in about half a second. So this little bit of plastic, you can see the little slot down here where my finger is, which goes into that slot here, and those two fins literally just let it slide and it just falls down into there. No, I've got it upside down now. So this way. So those two fins slide in. It's basically no effort to get that in there. And then we take this piece, and it's not symmetrical, so you can only slide it on that one way, and basically it just slides on like that, and then it sits in there captive, and then that just slots in straight in, just upside down. Don't do that. So that just slots in like so, and that's basically it. And the cover goes back on, and that's it. Like, it really wasn't that hard at all. But the design on this battery case is phenomenal. Like, it's so easy just to go in there, change the cells or whatever you had to do if you overheated it and melted a solder joint or burnt the diode out for some reason, trying to start your car or something with it. Yeah, that's it. She's back together, and yeah, how easy was that?